Imagine standing on the rocky shores of ancient Greece, gazing out at the vast, endless sea. Suddenly, on the horizon, a terrifying sight emerges. Hundreds of towering Persian ships, their dark sail blotting out the sky. Each ship carries soldiers, warriors of an empire that spans 3 continents, all coming to claim your homeland. You know that the battle for your freedom, for your way of life, is moments away. Would you stand and fight against overwhelming odds, defending your home and your honor? Or would you retreat, hoping to survive in submission? This is the story of courage, strategy, betrayal, and the clash of civilizations that shaped the destiny of the Western world. This is the epic saga of the Greco-Persian Wars. The Greco-Persian Wars, spanning from 499 to 449 BC, were not merely a series of battles. They were titanic struggles between 2 vastly different cultures. On one side stood the Persian Empire, an enormous and powerful autocracy that demanded loyalty and tribute from its conquered lands. On the other side stood the fiercely independent Greek city-states, small in size but mighty in spirit, dedicated to principles of freedom, autonomy, and what would become the foundations of democracy. These wars were more than a clash of armies. They were a battle of ideals. An empire seeking to expand its control versus a collection of free peoples determined to defend their way of life. The outcome of these wars would shape the future of Western civilization, laying the groundwork for democratic governance, philosophical thought, and artistic achievements that still influence us today. In this documentary, we will journey deep into the origins of this historic conflict, explore the key battles that turned the tide of war, and meet the heroic figures who stood at the forefront of history. From the burning of Sardis to the heroic last stand at Thermopylae, from the naval cunning at Salamis to the ultimate triumph at Plataea, this is the full, untold story of a war that reshaped the ancient world, the rise of Persia. To understand how the Greco-Persian Wars began, we must first trace the meteoric rise of the Persian Empire. Founded by Cyrus the Great in the 6th century BC, Persia rapidly expanded, conquering vast territories from the Indus Valley in the east to the shores of the Mediterranean in the west. By the time of Darius, Persia had become the largest and most powerful empire the world had ever seen, ruling over diverse peoples and lands stretching from modern-day Iran to parts of Europe and North Africa. Persia's success was built on an efficient system of governance, infrastructure, and military strength. However, not all the conquered peoples welcomed Persian rule. Among them were the Ionian Greeks, living along the coast of Asia Minor. Though they paid tribute to Persia, many of these city-states yearned for independence and self-governance. Their growing dissatisfaction would soon ignite the flames of rebellion and set the stage for a conflict that would engulf the ancient world. The Ionian Revolt, 499 to 494 BC. The spark of war was struck in 499 BC with the Ionian Revolt. Led by Aristogoras, the city of Miletus rose against Persian domination. Seeking to overthrow their Persian overlords, the Ionians sought support from their fellow Greeks. Athens and Eretria answered the call, sending troops and ships to aid the cause. In a bold strike, the rebels attacked and burned the city of Sardis, a major Persian administrative center. Though initially successful, the victory was short-lived. The Persian response was swift and brutal. Persian forces regrouped, crushing the rebellion city by city. The revolt ended in 494 BC with the fall of Miletus. The city was destroyed, its people enslaved, and the rebellion extinguished. But the consequences of the revolt echoed far beyond the ruins of Miletus. Darius I, enraged by the audacity of the Greeks, vowed revenge. He famously commanded a servant to remind him daily to remember the Athenians. The stage was set for a massive invasion that would bring war to the heart of Greece. The First Persian Invasion, 492-490 BC. Darius launched his first invasion in 492 BC, sending a fleet across the Aegean Sea. However, nature intervened. A powerful storm devastated the Persian navy, forcing a retreat. But Darius was undeterred. 2 years later, in 490 BC, he launched a second, more determined invasion. The Persians landed at Marathon, a plain northeast of Athens. Facing them were the vastly outnumbered Athenian forces, led by the brilliant general Miltiades. Despite their disadvantage, the Athenians chose to attack. Using innovative tactics, including a sudden full-speed charge, they overwhelmed the Persian forces. The victory was stunning, and the Persian army was forced to retreat. The Battle of Marathon became a defining moment for Athens. It symbolized the triumph of courage and strategy over brute strength. The victory also inspired the legendary run of Phidippides, who, according to tradition, raced from Marathon to Athens to announce the victory, collapsing from exhaustion upon his arrival. The Second Persian Invasion, 480–479 BC. Darius died before he could launch another invasion, but his son, Xerxes was determined to succeed. In 480 BC, Xerxes assembled a colossal force, one of the largest armies in ancient history. His invasion was relentless, advancing by land and sea towards Greece. The Greeks, facing annihilation, formed a fragile alliance. At the narrow pass of Thermopylae, King Leonidas of Sparta and his legendary 300 warriors made their stand. Joined by a few thousand allies, they held off the Persian army for 3 days. Their courage and sacrifice became a timeless symbol of resistance and valor. Meanwhile, the Greek navy, under the cunning leadership of Themistocles, lured the Persian fleet into the narrow straits of Salamis. The Greek triremes, swift and agile, outmaneuvered the cumbersome Persian ships, inflicting a crushing defeat. The victory at Salamis marked a turning point into the war, proving that strategy and unity could triumph over overwhelming numbers. The final battles in Greek victory, 479–449 BC. In 479 BC, the Greeks launched a final, decisive campaign. At the Battle of Plataea, the Greek hoplites confronted the Persian forces. The battle was fierce, but Greek discipline and determination won the day. Mardonius, the Persian commander, was killed, and the Persian army was routed. Simultaneously, at the Battle of Mycale, the Greek navy struck a final blow against the Persian fleet. This dual victory ended Persia's ambitions in Greece. By 449 BC, with the signing of the Peace of Calais, hostilities officially ceased. The aftermath and legacy. The Greco-Persian Wars left an indelible mark on history. They preserved Greek independence and allowed the flourishing of Greek culture, philosophy, and democratic ideals. Athens rose to prominence, ushering in its golden age, where art, architecture, and philosophy reached new heights. The wars also fostered a sense of shared identity among the Greek city-states, despite their later rivalries. The unity displayed during the wars became a defining element of Greek culture and pride. The Greco-Persian Wars were not just struggles for territory, but battles for the soul of a civilization. The courage of warriors like Leonidas, the strategic brilliance of leaders like Themistocles, and the unwavering spirit of the Greek people that shaped the future of the Western world. Their story teaches us that even when the odds seem insurmountable, determination, unity, and courage can overcome the greatest challenges. These ancient battles remind us that the fight for freedom is eternal. This was the epic story of the Greco-Persian Wars, a clash that reshaped history. If this journey through the ancient world fascinated you, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us for more incredible tales from the past. Until next time, keep exploring the battles that define civilizations.